Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for July 25th. We are looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. This pair closed slightly up, did not break the inside bar that was created here. Didn't break this high or this low. I do anticipate it coming down and hitting that today. However, if it reverses up, we could see some resistance around 78.40, possibly seeing some support around 77.95. Look for some Look for this pair to continue to the downside. Now, the Euro USD reversed. It ran right into some areas of support and has moved higher, filled the gap. As our percentage said from yesterday, we were looking for the euro to make a reversal, at least for one session. It has done that. Now I anticipate it overall to be heading to the downside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 122.54, possibly as low as 119.87. Look for some resistance around 12200 and look for some support around 120.39. Now the pound US dollar pair closed lower, broke through previous areas of support but pulled back to close higher. Look for it to potentially go up and hit some resistance around 155.50. Possibly moving down and hitting support around 154.55. Now the U.S. Swiss, this pair closed lower during this last session, filled the gap as expected. Look for it to potentially go up and hit some resistance or move higher up to 1.0011, possibly down to 0.9800. Look for some resistance around 0.9975. And look for some support around 0.9850. Okay, now as far as news announcements go, we do have one significant news announcement being released by the U.S. The durable goods orders at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Consensus on this is that it's dropped from 1.3% down to 0.3%. So a slight drop in durable goods orders, which would be negative news for the U.S. dollar. So make sure to keep an eye on that. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, I don't want to really show you. I want to show you something more than show you what I'm looking for. During the Australian U.S. dollar pair, during this last session, you can see that this is the new session here. We have a tool that I use in my triad system that is an oscillator. We call it the strength oscillator. And what its job is doing is always looking to get back to zero. However, when it goes outside of the normal ranges, it's very telling. For instance, we have a spike here, we have a spike here, and then we have some other spikes. But let's zoom in and kind of get an idea of what this allows us to do. A spike doesn't mean that things are turning on a dime. It can. But most of the time is what it means is we need to pay attention because a turn is coming or is about to happen right after that. You can see that after we have the spike here that we still have an up candle, but it's somewhat of a doji bar here. Then we continue to have green bars until this red one. And what this allows us to do is basically when we get a bounce above our 0.682 level, we know it's time to potentially look for a reversal, go to our break even, lock in profit because the market could be turning, and sure enough, it does start to turn. We have the ability to exit here, and you can see the market by and large was flat, moving sideways and then turned down. Then down here, we have a drop below negative 0.682, and that lets us know that the market could potentially be reversing. That happens at the close here, and sure enough, it does turn back around and move higher. Nice thing about this is if you make the market prove itself, tagging the high here and putting a stop loss right below the lows, you can really get some tight stop losses and then get some nice runners to the upside. You can see it ran for about 50 pips there. So then as the market oscillates, we get another break right in this area. You can see it broke above at the close here after running up for 4 bars. It didn't signal the end. This bar closed up and this one closed up, but then right here would be a good time to get out. There's 15 pips between this high and here, so you potentially could have missed that 15 pips, but more importantly, you would not have it would not have pulled back significantly on you. So this lets us know, our strength oscillator can really let us know when it's a good time to go to break even and when to start tightening up our stop losses and locking in profit, because the market is basically a pending turn is about to happen. Then we get another one at the close here, and you can see the next 3 bars were up. So this is on the 15-minute time frame, works across any time frame. Matter of fact, if we drop over to the 4-hour, we can see that we had a couple of these. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a better view here. Here's one where we break above it, and you can see we're right here. It does trend a little bit higher, but by and large, once we get that signal, it moves sideways until much later when it spikes up, and overall does move sideways before heading back to the downside. Then a little bit later, we have a signal here, meaning basically a low, right on the low here, and it pivots and turns around, as you can see here, and then runs for a sizable move. And you can see here, right there, had you taken at the close there just a buy signal off of it and use the low there as your stop loss on the 4-hour, you're looking at about a 21 pip stop loss. And then it ran 323 pips to the upside. So what this allows you to do is have super tight stop losses, which gives you higher, with your money management, gives you higher pips. And then when you get a runner, that's 323 pips to the upside, what that does, it allows you to have about a 16-to-1 risk to reward. So the risk to reward on these trades can be very, very sizable. So here again, here's another example right here. And of course, not all of them are going to be that big of a move. And of course, you would want to make the market prove itself to some degree. As you can see here, we have one. Had you done that same play, it would have not been a winning trade, but a losing trade, but you would have lost 13 pips. So when you have several hundred pips worth of runs, it can really add up in your favor to have super tight stop losses. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Hope this helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.